In Burgundy, we consider that the key and what makes the difference, it's actually who makes the wine. That will be the most important thing in Burgundy. If you buy a bottle of Puligny Morachet, your first question should be from who? From who makes the wine? The second point that is extremely important in Burgundy, it's the appellation, the location of the vineyard. And the third point is the vintage. And our vintage is not really important in Burgundy because we have a difficult weather. It's a cold weather with a lot of rain. It's not a very helpful weather. But a good winemaker, a good producer, will always make a good wine even in a difficult vintage. And that's why the winemaker is far more important than the vintage. That's the final thing to remember about Burgundy. So, here, that's the other side of the winery. This is where we vinify the white wine. So, very different vinification than for the reds, because here you don't look for the color. It's a different process. It's hand harvested as well. All the vineyards are hand harvested. But when the grapes arrive, we press the grapes immediately. Then we send the juice in the stainless steel tanks over there to settle down for about 2 days to get all the big sediments out. And we transfer, finally after 2 days, we transfer the must, which is in the tanks, into the barrel, and the alcoholic fermentation will take place in barrel. That's the big difference between red and white. The whites go over the alcoholic fermentation in barrel. And then after the alcoholic fermentation, they will go through the malolactic process, which is a natural process for white wine and red wine. But here the particularity of Jadot, it's the fact that we're going to keep for the whites, we're going to keep a little bit of malic acid in the wine. So
you keep the
malic acid.
That's malolactica.
Voilà.
You do not do malolactica.
We do malolactic, but it's never complete at 100%.
It's perfect. The acidity must be wonderful.
You got it. By keeping some malic acid, you make the white wine more vibrant, a little bit much more alive, and also in the meantime, the malic acid works like an additional backbone to the white wine. And the malic acid overall is the memory of the place. It's the memory of the single vineyard because it's present in the soil, goes over the plant, ends up in the fruit, and ends up in the wine. So it's really the memory of the place. That's a very important point for Jadot. Extremely important. The malolactic process is a natural process. We block it at 80%. And then another part that is extremely important, it's also the stirring of the lees, the bâtonnage, as we call it in Burgundy. In each barrel of white wine, you have some lees. And the lees are actually very important because the wine itself feeds itself on the lees. It's where the life is. And the stirring of the lees will mean that you reactivate the process in order to make white wine that are a bit more complete. So the downside of bâtonnage, too much bâtonnage will produce a wine that is too fat, too rich, too round. We don't like that very much at Jadot, so we do the bâtonnage, but very little in order to keep a white wine that is pretty bright, pure and sharp. That's the idea.